Climate change is one of the biggest hot-button issues facing the U.S. and the world. Some argue over the consequences of global warming and especially what to do to combat the change. Steve Mufson from the Washington Post joins us now to talk about an analysis the Post did to talk about climate change and its arrival here in the U.S. So, Steve, first of all, thanks for being with us tonight. Let's start with your findings. What were the key findings of this report?
Well, the key findings are that climate change has come to America in some intense spots. One of the characteristics of climate change is that the entire planet does not heat up evenly. So what you see, even though the United States and in fact the entire world has only increased in temperature by 1 degree Celsius since the pre-industrial era, there are certain places that are already at 2 degrees. Those places give us windows into what the future might hold.
So why is that the threshold, and what does it really mean if a location reaches that 2 degrees Celsius change?
World leaders at Paris and at some of the earlier climate conferences have set that as what they say the limit should be by the year 2100 if we're to avoid the most cataclysmic effects of climate change. But in fact, you know, it's a gradual process and effects come up all the time, and especially if you're already at 2 degrees. So we can see that in a place like New Jersey, where you have more and more pests that are hurting the agricultural crops, more insects that are carrying disease, and more ice melt that's hurting the economy of places like Lake Hopatcong, which is the largest lake in New Jersey.
We look to lawmakers, we look to corporations oftentimes to make big changes that will help combat the consequences of global warming and climate change. What should the average American be doing themselves to try to curb this effect?
Well, it's a difficult question because the problem is so huge in scope. But if you're an individual, I think the most important thing is to conserve energy at home, not to burn up more than you need in heating your home or air conditioning your home, maybe buying a more efficient automobile. Those are probably two of the most important things you can do as an individual.
There was so much really fascinating information in your analysis, so I thank you for taking the time to share a little bit with us tonight, Steve.
Happy to do that.